Hi guys, this is Debbie from healingfrombpd.org, and I'm here with a video regarding the problem with perfectionism. And to see or not to see, that is the question. And it's about something that I'm going through personally right now. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on me very quickly for those of you who are new to my videos, but I'll keep it really quick for those of you who are regulars. And I'll let you know this is one of those videos I'm taping on my iPad, and keeping with the theme of perfectionism, I'm not going to be editing out mistakes or little blunders or the fact that my hair and makeup don't look perfect, the lighting's not perfect. I'm really sorry about that. In fact, I can try turning on this light to see if that helps a little bit. We'll see how that goes. But this is just going to be kind of like if we were sitting around hanging out with each other, having a conversation about this, kind of a conversational style, except I'm doing all the talking. But you're welcome to leave comments down below, and I'll interact with you in that way for sure. I also haven't done a live Ustream in a while, and I'm wondering if that's something you guys want. And for those of you who don't know, that's when I go onto the Ustream website and do a video like this, but it's live, and you guys are typing in questions and comments, and I'm responding to you live on the video. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in me doing, maybe probably towards the end of the month, because what I'm about to tell you that I'm dealing with right now at school is so overwhelming for me that I just need to really be careful about not taking on anything else until like the first week of July is over. Then my life opens up again. I'm so excited. Come July, come! But at the same time, I don't want to waste away June and not enjoy every moment of it. So there may be some things that I touch upon in this video that require trigger warning. So what I usually do is go like this, trigger warning, and then you can kind of like fast forward or just mute it, and then when I do this again, you know that the trigger warning's over. I know it's kind of silly, but I really want to help protect those of you who are working really hard in your recovery and in your walk that don't want to hear certain things. So I'll give you an idea of the topic, and then I'll do that, and then you can just mute it, listen to your music, do whatever, and wait for me to do that again. You'll know I'm done talking about it type of thing. So that's what that's all about. But the perfectionism thing. Okay. Actually, first, really quickly, I said at the beginning of the video, my name's Debbie, and I am the writer behind healingfrombpd.org, and a couple of books that have come out of that whole thing of connecting with people through the blog. And I'm in recovery from borderline personality disorder, and what this essentially means at this time is that I do not meet the criteria anymore for a borderline personality disorder diagnosis. This is something that took a lot of time and hard work through a behavior called dialectical behavior therapy, which I'm now co-facilitating with a therapist through a company called DBT Path. But I just want to let you guys know a realistic picture of recovery, because I'm always like, oh, I'm in recovery. That wasn't a trigger warning. I'm in recovery. What does that mean? Does it mean that I just prance around all day, happy-go-lucky, and like I said on my Facebook page, that everything is rainbows and unicorns? No, it isn't. I am still a very emotionally sensitive woman. I still have anxiety and panic attacks. I still have appetite issues when I get really stressed out. I still have symptoms. I still have insecurities. I still have worries. I still meet some of the criteria. And like my psychiatrist mentioned when I was first told, oh yeah, you are in recovery, when we had that discussion, I felt like maybe I really wasn't, because I was still having, you know, some of this going on, some of that. And she said, well, you still have some of the criteria or symptoms, and suffering comes with those, so your life's not going to be free of suffering ever, no matter whether you're coming out of a diagnosis, whoever you are and whatever your life is, essentially. So, it's really important to me with the community that we've built on Facebook together, you know, as people who have come together who really want to heal, support each other, find help for their loved ones. It's really grown, and it keeps growing. It's just really important to me to be encouraging to you, but at the same time to give you a realistic picture, because if you think that being in recovery means that you never have any of the symptoms and you never have any failures or you versus successes, whatever failures means to you, that's not realistic. So I'm having a hard time right now. And my inclination usually, especially because I'm so much in the public eye with mental health issues and BPD in particular, and as a DBT skills coach through the class I was telling you about, my first inclination is to hide and just deal with it all by myself and Only show the happy side. Only show the unicorns and the rainbows, and that's not going to do anybody any good. Not myself, and not anybody who's looking for real hope and a real outlook on what it looks like to be in recovery. It's different for every person, but it's not perfect for any person. And so I'm working on my master's degree. Nobody told me I should, and sometimes I even question why I'm working so hard to get it, but it's something that I always aspired to do. Like, my bachelor's took me forever to do. I think it took me, kid you not, about 10 years to finish my bachelor's. I talk about that a little bit in my book, because I would just give up, feel like a failure and say I'm just not going to do it. Then I'd go back, and I did that for years. Plus, I moved around a lot, and I was homeless, so there were a lot of components as to why it took so long. But eventually I finished that. Couple of years went by, and I said, I really want to work on my master's just because I can. I know I can achieve this, and maybe it will help open up other doors and opportunities in the future. So I've been working on that, and it's been going pretty well. I'm doing a very rigorous program, but what I didn't realize was how rigorous the summer courses were going to be. I need to take a certain amount of units to graduate when I want to graduate, and that requires taking a couple of classes during the summer. And guys, I had to call my coach today, Teresa Lynn. You hear me talking about Teresa Lynn of Essence Happens all the time. I've been sharing her with you guys because she's such a resource, and I just have so many testimonies of how she's helped me, and that I can cheerlead her, and I want people to find her and connect with her and be able to get the help and assistance and validation and support that I get. So that's why I'm like all over the place with Teresa Lynn. So I called her today, because I don't usually use swear words, not because I think I'm better than that, but they just don't come naturally to me. But I was like spewing the F word like left and right. I can't effing take this, and I can't believe I effing did this to myself. Why do I expect this from myself? Why am I... And here's what it boils down to. Perfectionism. I'm taking 2 intensive summer classes. They're not quarter classes. They are semester classes condensed into 4 weeks. And I'm taking 2 of them. And at the beginning of the courses, just in the summer, I guess they do this with certain courses, you can contract for, okay, this is the amount of work you'll have to do if you want to earn an A. This is how much for a B, and it's less work, of course. And this is how much for a C, just to pass the class, and it's significantly less work, okay? Which one did Debbie sign up for? Which one did Debbie contract for on both classes? You got it. I signed up for the A. And lately I've been so stressed. The pressure that I put on myself to keep up with this, while also working hard on these groups that we facilitate. I picked up a few hours helping somebody else, just very part-time, with some administrative things that they need and things of that nature. I have a transition going on with my blog, and I'm going to be, committed around that, and that's fine. That's a good, positive thing. But actually, all of these things, and excuse me, I'm just going to get a little more comfortable because I was sitting on my feet, and sorry about that. All of these things that are happening are really positive, but I have felt so overwhelmed, and I have noticed myself go into that black or white thinking, which, although you may not be able to relate to the specific issue of the academics, though a lot of you do, because I know you're in school, I'm sure you can apply it to something else in your life, but I went from going, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, I can't make the A, I'm just going to drop out of grad school. Like, I still have thoughts like that. I still go there. I still have that black and white knee-jerk reaction come up. And had this been a few years ago, you bet your bippy that I would have been withdrawn from school and sitting here going, oh my God, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I had just dropped 1 class. Or I wish I had contacted my professor and contracted for a lower grade. All I need is the credits. I just need to get through it. And so those are the choices I'm looking at now, coming from a perspective of wise mind. And I knew this was going to happen, and I apologize because I'm not editing the video, but my allergies are really bad, so I'm just going to do this during the video. I'm so sorry. For those of you who don't know, I have 2 cats, and I'm allergic, and I take medication for it, but there's like cat hair everywhere, so that's why I'm always like, but I love my babies, so anyway. Yeah, so Teresa Lynn helped me. She will help you tap into what your heart already knows and what you need to hear, and come up with a plan to really make that effective. And it's DBT, but it goes beyond DBT, because I've had years of DBT. So I kind of know the ins and outs of it, but even I need a reminder, and I need to, like, sometimes she'll just say like opposite action or something skill, and I'm like, I didn't even think to use that skill. So that's one way that she is helpful and was helpful today. But another way was that she asked me point blank, what does it mean to you to get a C on this course? Because I've been striving for the A and feeling like I have to have the A, right? And trigger warning, I'm going to tell you something from my childhood, and then I'll do this again when I'm done and I get back to the conversation, but just for this piece. When I was a little girl, and I would bring home my report cards, this piece has to do with physical abuse, so seriously, if you can't hang with that right now, I totally get it, and just wait till I do the little jazz hands again so that you can come back and feel safe. But when I was a little girl and I would bring home my report card, my dad would give me an A $5 for an A, nothing for a B, and a whipping for C's or below. And I know that nobody's going to do that to me in the here and now, and that I'm safe and all that, but I think there's a scared inner child little girl in there that still is stuck in those messages and tapes that I have to have an A or something bad's going to happen, right? And we know that that's not true. So, okay, so I'm back. And the other piece is I felt like for my significant other, like he's so proud of me for going to school and doing all of these things that he would be disappointed because he knows I'm capable of achieving an A, so why didn't I achieve an A? But even he himself said to me the other day, Debbie, if you need to drop both of these classes, I'm not going to look down on you in a bad way. You need to do what's right for your health. And let me tell you, it has been affecting my health because I've been feeling really anxious. I've been getting like the tingly hands. I've had the panic attacks. I've had the GI symptoms, the tension, the headaches. And I have to ask, for what? At what cost is it that I have to have A's in these classes that are 4 weeks long? I'm halfway through. There are 2 weeks left. I'm actually, after this video, just so you guys know, I'm going to take the middle path, which is what Teresa helped me define the C as, because A is the extreme of being like the perfectionistic, that's the highest grade you can get in a course, right? And failure is the other extreme, and C is kind of like right there in the middle, B, C. I've never allowed myself to get a C. Not in high school, not in junior college, not in regular college, not so far in my master's program at grad school. Never allowed myself. And I really had to take a look at that, Maybe I allow myself to just skate by on the summer courses, and I do much better during the full semesters, which I have. I've gotten all A's in those classes, and it hasn't come at a high stress price because the course is over like 5-6 months, right? Not 4 weeks. So I'm going to be... there's one class where I think I'm still going to manage to get a B just doing what I'm doing, just because the expectations in the class are a little bit different. But for my other psychology class, I am going to contact my professor, let her know that I've really been pushing myself, and work out to contract for the lower grade. I'm going to go for the B with the possibility that I might get the C. And I'm radically accepting that, and for the first time it feels good. And it might sound so stupid and so ridiculous, and maybe some of you are out there like, I got by on all C's. God, I admire that. That might sound crazy, but to someone who's been putting herself through it and getting physical upsets over it, you don't know how bad. I wish I could just be like okay with getting C's. 2 things that friends on Facebook said that cheered me up a little about this, and one was Alicia, who is the therapist who co-facilitates the DBT groups at DBT Path with me. And she said, what do you call a Harvard Medical School student who's at the bottom of his class? Doctor. Because whether he has a 4.0 or whatever the lowest grade point average is to graduate and become a doctor, they're still a doctor. They could have gotten straight A's, straight C's, whatever it is, right? And then my other friend Kelly said she teaches classes for people to become notary publics. And she says to them, whether you get a 70% or 100% on this test, you're still passing and you're a notary public and no one's going to know your scores. So, don't drive yourself into the ground, essentially, was the message. It's not worth it. So, I can't believe I'm going to see as opposed to not see on the courses. It's a huge, huge step for me. And Teresa and I talked about Teresa Lynn and I, about how the goal here and the challenge and what I'm being met with in my life right now is not the challenge of achieving an A, because we know I can do that, and we know I can do it now. At what cost? It's obviously like taking a big toll on me stress-wise. My challenge is to get a C and be okay with that, or 2 C's maybe. Oh my gosh. So I'm taking the middle path. I'm breathing. I'm allowing myself to have that. I'm allowing myself to relax. I'm allowing myself to not feel like I have to be 100% perfect. And I'm allowing myself to have this experience. And I truly believe, just from chain of events that have occurred all of my life, and especially since I've been more in the public eye about BPD, is that any of these situations that come up and challenge me and cause me to become emotionally dysregulated, and I find a way through it, I'm able to use this to help many more people. So I know it's not in vain. I know there's purpose, and I know I will get through it. And whatever you're going through right now, I really urge you to just do what I'm trying to practice as well, and what Teresa Lynn is trying to help me with. Have more compassion for yourself. Understand why you may be pushing yourself so hard. And then take a look at what you can realistically do to pull back and still be okay. All I need to do is pass these classes. You know, I have some fears and worries. Oh, what if I try to get into a PhD program? And they're like, why'd you get 2C? Whatever. I may never even go into a PhD program. Who knows what the future holds? And I'm sure I could give an explanation, because I do not plan on taking the same amount of coursework again over a short period of time and trying to get A's. So, I mean, like, it'll be like a one-time thing, and using my skills to work with the problems of perfectionism. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. And you may be dealing with this at work. You may be dealing with this in your home life, or with your children, or with school. Or you may have a completely different issue that's just overwhelming you, and it would be a good opportunity to practice that self-compassion and figuring out where you can let go and do a little bit less to take care of yourself. So that's my goal this week. I want to be accountable to that. So for those of you who do engage with me over the various social medias, we can talk about how that's going, and I can let you know what's working and what's less effective. And then you can also let me know what you're working on and what you're trying. And yeah, so that's about it. I believe this video is getting pretty long. I'm not sure how many of you are still sticking with it, and if it made any sense at all, because this is more like a vlog of me just like sitting here and going, if we were, let's say you and I were at Starbucks, not that I'd like just openly talk about all of this in Starbucks right in front of everybody, but say we were, and we had an egg timer on the table, and I said, okay, Debbie, you've got about 20 minutes to talk about everything that's going on with you. I'm not going to interrupt you. I want you to let it out, process it, talk to yourself, ask yourself questions and answer them, and then at the end of the 20 minutes, I'm going to go like this and talk. That's your opportunity down in the comments if you want to connect, especially with your peers and other people, and just kind of like get ideas, bounce them off each other, get support, but try to stand in a place of power instead of helplessness and hopelessness. Do your best to realize that even though it feels overwhelming, and even though it feels extremely daunting, because I get that, I've been there in the past few days, it is possible to get through. We have choices, we can make compromises, we can do a little bit less, and let's do it together and stay strong. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video, or over at healingfrombppd.org, Facebook, Twitter, all those good places, and huge hugs, and talk to you soon. Bye, guys.